Ready to roll. Happy Monday, everybody. Party on. Party on. Were you scared? I just gotta know. Did you think the market was gonna fall apart? And then it didn't? Like right at the last second. Saved. That's why I do this on Monday, man. I hate Monday price action. It always lies to you. I'm just telling you guys right now. Always, always, always lies. Um, so, anyways, welcome everybody. Appreciate all you guys hopping in. Again, I'm actually streaming to two profiles now. So we have another one, Ticker Talk. If you want, follow that one too. We're working with that's actually like a collaboration of a bunch of the Spaces crew, kind of cool. So give that profile a follow. But if you're new to this, welcome. Every Monday, what I do is basically just like a quick step back, especially around lunchtime when things kind of get just tend to slow down just a little bit. And take a minute to kind of look back at what happened last week, look forward and see what do we have on deck for this week and kind of plan out some stuff. So if you guys have any trades that you want to take a look at, drop them in the chat. I'll be able to hit those probably towards the end. I'm going to try and go somewhat quicker, but we got a lot to get through. This is the first real busy week of earnings. So I don't think that the market's going to fall out of bed. It's just not typical. Good afternoon. And yeah, we're going to take a look at Tesla. I think, you might be shocked at what my thoughts are on Tesla. Who knows? But I don't think that. Here's what I don't think. I don't think Tesla is going to fall out of bed. There's that, right? I think that if it was going to, it would have already. But what we're going to do is I think we should model some trades. I haven't really done like a legit trade on the stream of like, here's an earnings trade. And I think in Tesla's case, I think this is one that's going to be tradable. So yeah, we'll take a look at that for sure. NVIDIA all-time high. Yeah, I think this is a trend that we continue to see as well. It's weird, right? Like you see a lot of stuff pulling back, but then you have NVIDIA. But I'll just go out on a limb and say, look, as we get deeper and deeper into earnings season, you're going to hear from Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon. Those are basically the biggest customers for NVIDIA. And I don't think that anybody is expecting them to say, hey, look, we're spending less on AI this quarter. So I think that it's probably the easiest layup is just to stay long NVIDIA throughout earnings season because they're going to come in and report at the very, very end. So I expect nothing but higher highs and higher lows from NVIDIA for the next 2 weeks at least. And then after the Mag 7 report, then minus NVIDIA, then we'll see, right? CCL. Yeah, cruise lines have been on a ripper for sure. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, I think there's some stuff that's still probably dip buyable. Stuff like, someone pulling up Oxy. I think that's a good one. You guys, yeah, this is Iceman is saying to Tesla sell a put. I couldn't agree more, actually. But I do it different ways. So we'll show you how I do it, and we'll take a look at it. Marcus, we will look at coin for sure. And Wolf, I'm not gonna do that one. Love you, man, but can't get me on that one. But should we go shopping today? I think that's a good question. There are some things. And I was toying with this weekly trade plan. I was like, do I call it the crypto comeback or do we talk about Tesla earnings? I think that you go shopping today on some specific items, and I'll give you those. These are like, for me, I don't know. Someone asked me last time, what was my highest conviction trade? At the time, like a week ago, it was like Coinbase. That's made a good run. So from here, no, not so much anymore. Look, Con L, and like we're up, I don't know how many thousands of percent on options, but and leveraged leverage ticker for Coinbase, that's up 70%. Coinbase, just the equity alone. Let me see. when we were talking about it. I mean, like nearly 30%, 28%, even after today's pullback. So I think there are some things that we can go shopping for. NNE, I am already long this one. This is what kind of stock is this? This is a nuclear stock, actually. So NNE owns the last, and if you don't know, it's probably a good one. I'm long at 14, so it's 24 here, and that was like a week or so ago. Nuclear is on a ripper, though, I will say. And NNE specifically, they own, I don't know if you guys remember, there was headlines, all this AI stuff, do we go nuclear? I don't know if it's real or not. I think that might be a little bit of fluff, but the market thinks it's real. That's for sure. But NNE does have a nuclear facility that was shut down that has not been spun up again. So specifically that one does have some upside. Obviously, the stock's up like 80%. So there's that. But there are some other nuclear names, which I don't tend to go over. But I would go take a look at UEC. That's probably the next one I'm going to be looking into. I already bought some equity on that. That's ticker UEC. Yeah, sorry, man. I did say you got to be in the servers. You got to be in the private groups for that. Can't give everything out. But I'll give you UEC. UEC is another uranium stock. I think that might have some legs. It hasn't made a huge run, not like NNE, but quite frankly, I'm not too much into the crazy popping stocks like drug. Like, oh my God, did you see drug this last week? Like DRUG, that thing was up. I don't know how many percent. What is it now? $54. It was. I mean, like last Tuesday, it was the penny stock, and then it goes to like, I don't know, like $50 in the post market on some approval, pulls all the way back to 20, and then hits like 79, and is starting to base around. Look, man, those are the ones I don't really stuff like that. I actually do not play just because I don't know how to value that. It's not my wheelhouse, to be fair. I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. Biotech is definitely not. CVNA, we can go over this. And this Bivy, yeah, this is a pump and dump, man. I cannot get behind that, but have at it. But yeah, CVNA, my hot take is they're not going bankrupt. So I don't hate that one, actually. So, but yeah, get out of this. Get out of this what you can, man. Don't let that go red. We are, dude. We are. Anyways, hey, look, let's get to it, right? I got a couple things. I don't want to push this too late, but here we go. Oh, let's do a different layout. How's this one? By the way, I don't have my headset on, so if my audio is a little echoey, just I'll try and I did a stream the other day and it sounded a little funky, so hopefully it's not horrible. Clearly you guys can hear me. So anyways, so yeah, so to this week we kick off the real earnings season. Last week was technically the beginning of earnings season. If you guys didn't know, there's gonna be like I don't know how many hundreds. Let me pull this up because we will go through this. I think earnings. Look at this. So Wednesday, we get 129 companies reporting earnings. Then Thursday, 163, 44 today, 69 tomorrow. And then Friday is usually pretty light. So it is a heavy week of earnings. That's like no joke. Man. And it looks like mostly a lot of industrial stuff this week. So, but anyways, let's get into this. All right. So last week, quick recaps on the economic data. Really light week last week. So all we had really to look forward to was kind of earnings starting this week, and next week we get the bulk of earnings. it's similar this week. So what we did get though, retail sales, I believe this is going to start moving markets sooner than later. If you didn't know, a few months back, we were looking at bad news is good news for the market. We've pretty much switched that completely upside down, and good news has been good news for the market and bad news has been bad news for the market. So take that for what it is. Retail sales, again, so expecting higher at 0.3% month over month. We came in at 0.4%. So again, when you look at this stuff, things that move markets are the difference between what expectations are, or consensus. That's what I have in the parentheses here, versus the actual. It's nothing to do with prior. So yes, last month retail sales were up 0.1% and nearly up 0.5% this week. That's a big difference, but that's not going to move the market. Only the difference between what was forecasted or basically what's priced in. Jobless claims. Look, jobless claims are moving markets right now. It's just keeping the trend intact. Expectations were for 260,000. We actually came in a little bit lighter at 241, which is lighter than the week prior. So this is all good, right? This is what Fed Powell, like what Powell's looking at when he talks about the labor market. And we just want to really his job is promote full employment. So as long as this is staying up in below 250s, I think, or even that's like 275. 275. If you see a 300K handle on there, yeah, we're gonna get rocked. That's for sure. But I don't know. I don't really see that happening. Building permits and housing starts. This is a little interesting. I was talking to a buddy, Nick or G-Knots, and I have a handful of like investment properties, and a couple of the crew do as well. And he's up a lot on some of his homes, and he actually made a quick, what's up, Jill? He made a nice profit on a quick turnaround. And I was like, are you doing a 1031? Like, are you exchanging or are you just selling? And he's kind of like selling. I'm like, okay. So the question, I think, in terms of building permits, housing starts, in the housing market in general, when we want to start looking at this is, so if rates come down, and this is where it's kind of interesting, if rates come down, does that induce the home builders to build more and therefore increase supply? And do the buyers come into the market at an equal pace, or are they, or do they sit back and wait for supply to kind of flood the market and potentially drive prices down? So that's, I think, an interesting situation in the housing market. So far, it kind of looks like supply is coming in a little bit faster than demand is cranking up. So that could be good if you're looking around. So yeah, I think that's something that we should watch on. Jason, TA course, por favor. All right. Follow me, follow the channels, follow everything. This is coming this week. We will do a pre-sale. It's going to happen. It's coming this week. You'll be able to jump in on this one. Just saying. It's been a long, long time coming. So a lot of work goes into it, but it's coming. But hey, we'll look at this. So building permits. So we did have, just as an aside, last month, building permits had jumped 4.6%. Housing starts had jumped 7.8%. That's a lot, right? And I think that was kind of builders front running a lot of interest rates coming down, interest rate declines, which don't seem to be happening as fast as some of these people were expecting. So what do we get? We get a bit of a pullback here. So interestingly enough, so housing starts was expected at 1.8%. This is like residential stuff. We came in negative 0.5%, so a little bit less on both building permits and housing starts. So I think that might start to stabilize, but this is interesting to me to see. Okay, so they front ran the rates coming down a little bit, or at least took advantage of lower rates. And then now that rates have started to come back up because they went a little bit too far, we're not seeing that increase in building as prevalent as we did the month prior. So I think whenever we see rates come down lower, I do believe that this is like supply going to come in faster than demand. And maybe maybe I'll get an opportunity to buy some stuff out there. We'll see. A couple other headlines. Reports suggest that Israel might avoid targeting Iran's oil infrastructure. I think, oil had been on a ripper for about a week. It's a very clean range. I think it's close to the bottom of that range right now, as an aside. So maybe we take a look at that. And someone had mentioned Oxy. Look, I'm long Oxy right now. I will say I am long Oxy. Bitcoin rising as odds for Trump win increase. This is where it gets interesting. And if you guys remember, I've been like just hammering this thing on that we want to see two things in the crypto market. Two things. And I think that we're very close to seeing both of these two things, if not there. Well, actually, I think we're there. We want to see the total crypto market cap rise. It's rising. And we want to see Bitcoin dominance wane or come down a little bit. And I'll give you a chart today that I think is really interesting. But as Bitcoin, up to this point, Bitcoin has been on a bit of a stronger surge, let's say, and has hit this almighty $69,000 level. If you don't know what the 69K level is, we will go over it. It's 2021, I believe, highs. All-time highs, not all-time highs, but 2021, where it peaked out, 69,000. And Bitcoin has made, I don't know, 4 attempts so far to get through. I think it breaks through regardless of this election. So to me personally, I don't care about this election stuff. I think this deal goes through with or without Trump or any election nonsense. I feel like this election stuff just adds a lot of noise that's unnecessary to the crypto market. But here now, Bitcoin 69K or whatever it is, and Ethereum sub 3K, $2,700, actually starting to finally show some signs of life. We are seeing Bitcoin dominance wane. If you guys haven't seen Dogecoin last week, that thing's up like 50%. And I think this is the moment, right? So if you guys were asking, do we go shopping today? My answer is yes, but it's not where you might think it is. So similar to Coinbase a couple weeks ago, I think you go into the alt season mentality and you start, I think whatever dip we get, this is probably the last dip for the altcoins. So I'm not going to go into like specific ones. The only ones you guys know I talk about are hyperscale layer 1. So I don't dabble in the shenanigan projects. If it's a product, get out of here. I don't do products. I don't do protocols. I only do platforms. That's layer 1. Layer 1 means platform. So anyways, that's like your Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche. But I will say all season, if it happens, doesn't really matter what you get as long as it's not like a straight up Ponzi. You're probably okay. But yeah, I think this is the moment. And whatever this dip is today, this week, I feel like this is it. This is the last call. This is the last call. Anyways, that's my rant. And I don't care about this election. I think it's all noise. So mortgage demand. So here's another thing. So mortgage back on track. Mortgage demand plunges 17% as rates rise. I think this is another thing. Hey, look, maybe buyers are a little bit slow to enter this market, thinking that supply may come in a little bit faster. I think that might be right. Another headline, ECB. So European Central Bank cuts rates for the third time to prop up their weakening economy. Bostic. We got a bunch of Fed speak last week. We have some more this week. Says he favors cutting rates slower, right? So maybe not. And I think it's just like this is this is where I think that rates went a little bit too far, too fast. And then they came down too far, too fast, and now they back up too far. So this is just the market kind of recorrecting itself. I don't think TLT is like a great crazy play. I think like a couple bucks for sure. I think that one has bottomed out again on this one. I think that's the lower high that you're looking for if you do like TLT. But make no mistake, I don't think it's going to be going to 103 or anything like that. I think you're 98, so $5 max within like 3 months. So it's not a fast mover. So just as an aside, I do think it's bottomed out though. And then gold and silver, man. High-ho silver. Holy camole. Have you seen that thing? So the move on silver, get this. I'm playing with this future stuff, right? Like this move on silver last week, I swear to God, for like one contract, that's like a $10,000 move on this last push on a single futures contracts for silver. Like, what a freaking move. But yeah, gold again, all-time highs nearly daily. This is supposedly driven by safe haven stuff. Like, it's a safe haven asset for sure. Again, further interest rate cuts from the US and really globally. So I don't think this is just a US thing, but it's like globally, right? So like if other currencies or all currencies as a whole start to kind of fall, gold, silver, things like that, look, the value of those will go down. These stay stable. Like, you're going to have to spend more dollars, euros, whatever, Swiss francs, like, to buy the same amount of gold. Like, that's just strong. But the other one I was thinking about recently is China, right? I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm on another little rant. Emp in the house. What's up, man? And here's to Emp's point, Emperador's Emp. I feel like if you guys don't know, China has been one of the biggest buyers of gold for the longest time. And we're now finally in the situation where maybe China, and they've yet to do this, actually prove it, starts to invest in their people. The problem with the Chinese stimulus right now is that it's all going to government infrastructure. And that's what they've been doing forever. And that's what's been not working forever. So if they continue to do that, like they send the money to the municipalities, blah, 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 like that's not good. What you want to see is like straight to the consumer, and to the small business companies, right? Not to government or anything like that. We're not seeing that yet. So and here's where I'm going with this, if they do really flip that switch, then maybe China starts to sell some gold, just maybe, because they've been some of the biggest buyers of gold over the last couple years. In massive droves. So if they start selling, maybe you get a pullback. But make no mistake, that is probably the best long-term chart that you will find or that you may ever see in your lifetime. And when I say long-term, I mean like monthly scale. So don't get wrapped up in the small, myopic views. It is probably the best long-term chart that you will see, at least from a setup perspective, in a very, very long time. So there's that. Anyways, let's move forward. All right. So this week, not a lot on deck. Again, so today, 3 Fed speakers. We got a couple more on Wednesday, I believe. Tomorrow, really nothing. Really not. I had to stretch for this. We get something called the Red Book. The Red Book is retail sales. Basically, it's like the sales, like comparisons for retail outlets. Wednesday, we do have a big bond auctions. Bond auctions were moving the market considerably. We recently got the 2-year bond auction, and that didn't move the market like at all. So, maybe I think that we may have seen the peak bond auction movements for the market. Don't quote me on that, but I think that probably happened. Thursday's pretty much the only day that we have some stuff that has been market moving. Jobless claims and housing stats. Friday, durable goods and rig counts. Look, this is like a clean slate. We really have nothing here. It's all about earnings this week and the election. So I think we're about 2.5 weeks away from the election. There you go. Canada is also expected to cut rates this week. Yes. So everybody's going to be cutting rates, which I think is still bullish for the commodities, right? Still bullish for gold and silver and possibly Bitcoin. We'll see. But I'm all about that space in its own right for other reasons. This is kind of where we are. I posted this chart. This is from Fraggle. If you're around, appreciate you, dude. but I think that we may have gotten most of the drop already. We might have one more as we get to the U.S. election. So just be somewhat on toes. This is not accurate. This is this week's earnings calendar here. So really nothing until we get to, this is nothing. So we have GE on Tuesday. So this is a lot of industrials, Nucor, steel. SAP is probably a good one to watch if you like Oracle. That's going to be a pairs trade for sure on SAP. 3M, I like. This is a big turnaround story. Raytheon, Freeport, GE, like all of this, you get into defensive on Tuesday morning. End phase at the close Tuesday afternoon. Not really expecting much there. And then Boeing, who's been bouncy. Boeing has been bouncy. Canada's for another 50 basis points. Oh, there you go. NEE, who's been on an absolute ripper. GE Vernova. Look, GE Vernova, I am bummed I did not buy. I was so long GE, and then I didn't really. I should have just bought. I didn't get enough GE Vernova. I didn't get enough, and I haven't bought it yet. So I'm like, I can't. I'm not getting a pullback. They're not giving me a pullback. But anyways, it's sad. Oh no, we weren't there yet. But yeah, so Tesla, I have a big position in Newmont. I'm not selling this. I'm up 70%, 75% on my Newmont equity. I'm not selling. This is the largest gold miner in the stock market. I'm not selling that with gold at all-time highs. I'm sorry. What about Dixie breaking out? So yeah, we're talking about the dollar. So I think if you think that Dixie's breaking out, then you're very short-term view, right? So Dixie is a bounce today. This isn't a breakout. To me, this is a range trade. And I think it's at the top of its range, right in here. So this is the box the dollar has been in. This was like 2024 lows, like right here or open. The dollar was negative on the year for a while, finally bouncing up. I think you're back at the top of the box. So I think this is like the strength that dollar has right now is going to be very short lived. And we probably top out right in here. So I just see this as another lower high coming in pretty much any minute, if not tomorrow. I think this is going to get shellacked real quick, not somewhere around like 104 and change. So I'm really not worried about that. Actually, that's more bullish than anything to me for the other commodities. Because like if this, assuming that does happen with gold, the decoupling of the gold and dollar intraday movement has been wild, right? You've seen dollar go up and gold go up at the same time on these days. And while the dollar has been making this bounce, gold's been going all-time highs. So anyways, where were we, guys? I forgot. Oh, earnings. IBM, this chart is not bearish. I'm not a fan of the company, but the chart is not bearish. Some people that are looking for like some major turnaround stories, probably UPS. That chart is like down in the doldrums, but maybe after earnings, I think the CEO said on the last one, it's Q4, right? Q3, Q4 that they're looking for some kind of turnaround. So there you go. And some airlines. I don't was it Save or something? Spirit. One of these airlines I saw was up like 30% this morning. It was insane. But yeah, I think the only real mega cap, which I guess that's debatable now, is Tesla for this week. And what I do want to do is, so we'll come back to this Tesla and we'll model a trade, right? But in between now and then, we do have one thing that we have to get to. It's like non-negotiable. We've been working with this person for quite a while, and they've just been on an absolute ripper. So let's take a minute, see what they have to say, and let's jump into Miss Cleo's forecast. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your favorite part of the show, and that is Miss Cleo. Yes, Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo has been on a heater. I mean, a heater of all heaters. I don't know what to say, other than just when we go through this, just don't listen to her directional analysis, just the setup for the day. Because when she says it's a trend day or it's like a dumper, like in general, like she's been spot on. It's been absolutely insane. Yeah, she has been on absolute fire. So here we go. Judgment aside, this is now you turned in just in time. Yes, June, just in time for the best part. All right, so here's the reading. So we get a theme card. That's the first card on the top of the deck here. And then we get a card for every single day of the week. It is Monday, so we'll see how she's doing today. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the theme for the week is the Knight of Swords. We got like this looks good. I don't know if it's bullish or bearish. I have no idea. There's like this guy looks like he's charging into battle. So probably a lot of energy. Today is the Two of Cups. Looks pretty mellow. Tomorrow is Justice. And then Wednesday, Queen of Cups. Two queens in a row, then Queen of Pentacles. I always like is the Pentacles gold. You know what she said last week? She said a lot of the cards has this theme of yellow. Or like 2 weeks ago. And God, when Miss Cleo says there's like a theme of yellow or silver, I think that we need to really start listening to that. So that's a big yellow card, little yellow card. Maybe that's the gold day. Queen of Pentacles, and then the Two of Wands. So we're going to Justice, Queen, 2. With the Knight of Swords. I have no idea what that means, guys. No clue whatsoever. So let's see what she has to say. All right. So the theme for the week is the Knight of Swords. This is a fun card that brings a lot of firepower. That's what it looks like. Will trend early in the week and probably fade a bit after. All right. So that might be Tuesday, Wednesday. It rarely finishes green. So we can probably sell any positive momentum, then cash out near the end of the week. Okay. What I will say is that election time's coming, and the next week I think is the biggest week of earnings. That tends to be a choppy, slightly red week. So that's kind of spot on. Today is the Two of Cups, as expected. Possible trend day to start the week. It was trendy early. I haven't seen it lately. But it was starting to. There's certain things like if you're Apple, or if you're Nvidia, are you trending? So it could be the start of something new. That's right. She said last week that we were ending something old, starting something new. So this week should be the next new trend, let's say. Shouldn't chase into the close. It has a higher chance of red candles than green candles, but we should be able to pin down the direction by morning with likely a gap up or down. We did have a gap up that got filled, reversed, and now I think we're going back. I haven't seen the charts. I don't expect impulsive day, just slow grinder that doesn't reverse or provide any entry. So nothing burger Monday. Oh no, where's my Tuesday? Okay, Tuesday. Thought I was missing it there for a second. So Tuesday brings more trend. So Tuesday trend day, turnaround Tuesday. I don't know. Tuesday trend day. Trendy Tuesday with a high chance of reversing Monday's dominant energy, whatever that was. I don't expect any traps, no traps, a lot of intraday reversions or a lot of intraday versions. That's trendy. Justice tends to bring logical price action that's easy to peg. All right. So opening range break, go with the trend. Again, don't fade momentum and trade with it. Simple as that. I like that. Simple and easy. Wednesday, Queen of Cups. So this is the first queen. Queen of Cups has been showing up a lot lately. She does so when we're suffering from a bit of weakness. Man. And feeling emotionally vulnerable. It sounds sappy, but we've all been there, stuck in a trade that we instantly regret and makes us question our skill set. Okay. Queen says not to panic. The water level may be rising, but she'll keep the bottom from dropping out. All right. So the bottom is not falling out. She tends to show up to bring bearish candles after a positive day. So if Tuesday is strong, be careful with any short-term longs here. Otherwise, the worst case is a little trouble that gets resolved by the close. Okay, cool. pop, pull back, continue on. That was Wednesday. Thursday, back-to-back queens. Interesting look. One shows up to protect us from financial weakness. The other shows up to prevent it. I think the energy on both these days is similar, much like the back-to-back crypto tens. She does do crypto, and I'll tell you that the crypto forecast was bullish. Like she went out of her way to say, should I give you this? On the crypto forecast, she went out of her way to say 5% days, like crazy. I'm not going to go through that, but if you're in the server, you have it. I think energy from both these days is similar, much like back-to-back crypto. Queen of coin is this the queen of coin? Oh, Pentacles is the queen of coin. Okay. Isn't nearly as bearish though. And while she has higher chance of closing red than green, her favorite move is to close flat. Okay. So pop, stop. All right. I'm not in a hurry to get long. I'd rather use this day as a patiently await the next setup. Probably attempt to sell rallies, but with a tight stop. All right. So trail out Tuesday, Thursday. I think so far that's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, typical meat of the week. That's where you're going to get most of it. The Friday is the Two of Wands. If we're going to see a new setup, this is the day to do it. All right. Twos are low energy, but they bring new starts. As this one comes from the suit of wands, we can expect some impulsive price action that tries to shake us out of our trades. It has a bullish bias and can even trend. All of this looks good coming out of a period of possible weakness, especially since this card carries a high chance of mean reversion. Okay. So the way to play this is fade Thursday if that puts us long, buy dips on any weakness. Fade Thursday, and if that puts us long, so if Thursday was down, then we go long Friday, buy dips on any weakness. That's what she said. Day traders may enjoy quick bursts of squeeze and sell. It may be fun way to close the week. Trendy, impulsive day Friday. All right, so recap. We have some strong energy this week with early trend, midweek consolidation, and Friday reversal. There will be a lot more going on this week during the last week of. I don't get this OPEX stuff. That's not my thing. Miss Cleo's all about like OPEX, but anyways, that's what she says, man. That's there you have it. Miss Cleo for you. Round of applause. But let's take a look at the markets overall, right? So this is my first view across the board, 30-minute charts. So right now I do have the dollar. This is important to watch right now. Again, I think we're coming up into an area of resistance. SPY, Qs, diamonds, and the red-headed stepchild, everyone's favorite, IWM, Tom Lee's favorite. But I think, today, weakest, IDubs, diamonds. Is this a dip to buy? That's the question. Right here, this orange box is an average week's range. I think that we may have seen the low for the week. So if today's low is the low, like if we're trending below today's low, okay, cool. Then we're down. But the reason I'm just like, this is kind of like what's the word? Like just basic robotic type response. I think this is low for the week right here. So this morning looked really bad. If you were looking at it, it was like, oh my God. And it just kept going and going and going and going. And it didn't stop until it did. And now we're reversing. And where we stopped, I think, is a really interesting spot. So right here, this is basically this last breakout. So from here to here, this was the last breakout. Order block, right? This is 580s. So as long as we're holding 580s, look, I just don't think that this is going to break down at all. We're still in a box. We're in a new box, though, more or less. And it's an upper end of that box. So I think this is constructive. This puts in a little bit of dip. The only thing that I'd be worried about here is as we get to the top, what do we say? There's no such thing as a triple top. 1, 2, 3 times. If this is a fourth attempt, probably breaks through. So I got to stay bullish. And to me, this morning's dip with the amount of like velocity that it came into, not being able to break that 580 level, I think that was key, right? So I feel like we saw the whites of their eyes this morning. I was texting Frankie. I feel like, is this the whites of their eyes? I think so, because it was just like nonstop, go 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 go. I'm like, when is this gonna end? And it finally did, and it did at a very critical, very important spot. So I think that's notable. So to that end, if we do make an average weeks move, which we haven't yet. We've been trending less than an average 14 average, less than an average 14 weeks range. Anyways, 14 weeks averaged range. We've been moving less than. But if we do, that actually brings us still to that 590 area. So this was the same target that we had last Monday. I think this was last Monday here. So again, we barely stayed inside half of an average week's range last week. So we're not moving yet. We did finally get out of this big box, right? So this was that consolidation area here before. We are well above that. And we got a nice few days basing above it too. So, and we've had beautiful retests like multiple times. So here we are on the fourth try, cracking 585. I think if the fourth try goes, whatever it ends up being, look, that's probably, there's no such thing as the triple top, right? That's where the saying comes from. So 1, 2, 3. If we really get there, I think we really get there. But let's say if it doesn't, let's say if it does fail, I'll take today's high, and an average week's range to the downside would be a full-blown retest to that 573 or October. Remember, NFP levels, October, NFP high. So the way this works, as long as we're trending, this is NFP levels. This is important stuff. As long as we're trending above or below this October NFP read, then we have a clean direction on the market. And we are trending over it, right? So we got over, full day, open and close. So open below, close above, full day, open above, close above. This is your day, open above, breaking higher, boom, we're going. And the trend is your friend, and the trend is saying it's up. Can we get a retest? Yes, we can get a retest, 573.36, 573 spot 36 on SPY, but that doesn't come unless we break this. So that's why this morning's move was so important. We have to have, as long as we're holding 579s, to be fair, like this shelf, we are not going to see this retest. But if we do, we will see this retest, and that is a buy. That is a buy, right? And then this is a buy, 568. So just know, buy. Both these levels should hold the rest of this month. This should be, this low should be the low for the entire month of October. Not that that's saying much because there's only 10 days left. But anyways, there you have it. And if you didn't know how those worked, now you do. So here, Qs, similar but different. So October NFP, by the way, was way over here. This one, we're in a different area. We did get our retest from our NFP breakout. So if we're in the box, we're trending. Full day open and close above. 1, 2. We should get it. You got a retest already. The thing is, for the Qs, that we're in July's NFP range. So for me, as long as July's low, which is holding, which it is, it's held a couple times. That's 490 spot 50. We've yet to get a close below and open below. That's what you're looking for. So we got to close above, like open above, close on. Nope. Boom. Gap up straight to the top of this range. What we're looking for on the Q is to get a prevailing trend from here on. Like we're going over a daily open and close above 496 spot 60. Until we get that, we're not out of the woods, and expect to be chopping in this box. So just as an aside, when I say a daily open and close, I mean a daily open and close. This day is an open below, close above. That's not an open and close. This day is an open above, close below. That doesn't count, right? So we're looking for a full candle opening and closing above 496 spot 60 to see a clean net new trend on the Qs. Maybe Miss Cleo tells us that we get a start of something new. Maybe that happens on Friday. Just maybe. All right. Sorry for my rant. Let's see. Where did my box go? Oh, where'd my box go? Here. There's my box. All right. So if we do get that, an average week's range from today's low is 510 on the Qs. So if we do get this breakout on the Qs, what I'm saying is 510 to the upside. Write it down. Downside though, look how big the Qs average week's range is normally. It's been very tight. If we do get a fail, and we fail really through 488, which is that October NFP level, I think I don't think this gets to the 50-day, but an average week's range would take you to the 50-day. That would be quite the sight. I don't think that, look, as long as this box really in here is holding, and it's quite simply a close, as long as we're closing over 490 on the Qs, you got to stay long. That's just what it is. As long as we're closing over 490 on the Qs, you got to stay long. They'll fight this one. So anyways, that's where we are. Cool. Very cool. I'm going to do this one. So of all the things that I could, oh yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely. I took that down as well. Iridium. I think this is the one. So Ethereum, easy day, right? So we were really high and tight here. I'm just going to pull this zone right here. This is the point of control for this last consolidation high. If I draw this line across, and I'll just have it right here. We were high and tight. Then boom, this weekend we got it. What are we getting today? Right here, right now. Right there. 2656. A beautiful breakout and retest. So, boys and girls, I'm going to go out on a limb and say my highest conviction right here, right now is probably Ethereum. Just on this technical setup. When I mentioned what we're looking for, Bitcoin dominance. Oops. So I'm looking for this. This is the Bitcoin to Ethereum ratio. This is a bit of a downtrend lately, right? But if we start to pop up and it's just now starting to really curl, getting higher, Ethereum is going to start outperforming Bitcoin. And if you don't know, then you should know this is probably the first one of your alts to go. And then it'll start trickling down to your Solana, Avalanche, etc. And then it'll start trickling down to your protocols or oracles like Link and what have you. But this guy goes first. And there's one way in the stock market to trade this. And this is the way I'm going to do it. So ETHU is a new ticker from Volatility Shares. I think we're going to meet with them pretty soon just to make sure. But these guys also run BITX. If you don't know what that is, a 2x Bitcoin ETF, and SVIX, interestingly enough, which is the short VIX ticker, SVIX. They do run that from Volatility Shares, BITX, which I know a lot of people have been in. But if you're into alt season and you're looking for the rotation, this is first up on the list. Under $6. I like her. I mean, if I see 5 again, I will love her, but I don't think so. I think that's gone. So as close to 5, I guess, as you can. Under 6 for sure. This is the one. This is, if this goes throughout the entire season, man, this might be like $20. Just saying. Take it away. Take it back. I didn't say that. But anyways, that's a long hold. It's not a short-term thing. Just so you know. But this is where we are. So Ethereum here, 20-day, 50-day, super tight, curling, heavy, right here over that volume shelf. Look, this is about to go. We want to at least to 3K for a stop. That's the 200-day simple moving average. I think that's a layup to me. That's just me. And I think today's a good pullback. Honestly, any pullback is a good pullback. So whatever happens here, even if this breaks, I'm still gonna be in. All right. So I think that's all I wanted to go on that chart. Bitcoin, we can. I think Amit is back this week. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. This is that illustrious 69,000 level on Bitcoin right here. 2021 all-time highs. That's got to bring you back to here. Do I think this breaks? Yeah, I do. This is one. If I consider this 1, 2, 3 shots, this might be the 4th attempt. You should break through. But any pullback here is probably viable. Although I think the underperformance as this attempts to chop around and break through this massive level might give the alts what they need to catch up. And in the meantime, we just want to monitor the total crypto market cap, which, yeah, definitely a higher high. Definitely overall, whatever. This is just trending up right now. So total crypto market cap and Bitcoin dominance. We want to see BTC to ETH come down or ETH to BTC go up, whatever flavor you want to look at. All right. We already did the dollar. Silver, man. Holy crap. We talked about the dollar. I think, look, we get that dollar pullback. Gold, silver probably both look good. I'm not going to fight that. Oil, though, let's do this really quick. I think this is interesting. So oil is at the low end of the range. I'm not in the mindset that this just completely falls out of bed, but higher lows. So if this is lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high than this, not than this, but higher. This high is over that high. And this is another higher low. 1, 2 higher lows after a higher high. What are you supposed to do on the second higher low after a higher high? I remember. Oh, wait, you go long. You buy it. That's right. All right. So we're long. Yeah, I like it. Regardless of whatever goes on, right? So technically, this is long. This is long right here, right now. And your stop would be under 65. So where does that take me? I think into earnings season, we can look at stuff. Somebody mentioned Oxy. Same thing. So we do have earnings here. If this is a series of lower lows and lower highs, which it was, right? If this was the last lower high, this is where it gets weird. If this was the last lower high and you have a double bottom, which is exactly what this was, double bottom. This is a higher low. This is actually where I went long the first time, and I'm still long. I didn't sell. So I think that this is fine, right? So what you're looking for from a trendy perspective, so lower high, double bottom, higher high. Where's that last low going to show up? You remember the secret? If this is the last low, then you go to the low right before the last low. Oh, do you know that secret? You might not know that secret, but wait a second. Where does that get us? Right in here. So it gets us right in here. There is a nice little fair value from that last pop that we stopped on right here. So I think this is basing, curling. I'm long. ETH play. Equity, ETHU. ETHU, the equity, not options. AMP is long for the oil. And June says Amit's back full-time tomorrow. That means we might have technical Tuesday. Might be in a band. Might be ready, right? Might be in a band. Yeah, I think a lot of things could be in a band till election day. So especially because I think Bitcoin will probably, and this to Iceman's point, probably be in a holding pattern till we get to that election thing. I think that is one more reason for the altcoins to catch a bid and to start finally moving. Did you guys see my post this morning? I thought that was the funniest thing on the crypto, like the crypto alt season, like 2021 alt season, 2024 alt season climbing up. So true, so sad, but oh man. But regardless, make Ethereum great again. SoFi 52-week highs, yes. Oh, I didn't look at IWM. We can. So IWM, I think it's all about the in this area. To M's point, SoFi 52-week highs. Yes, we were long SoFi. I think this is the lenders. Someone had mentioned Redfin. I wouldn't. I wouldn't short this thing. I would defer. Maybe look, depending on where we are, I think you start. Excuse me, using things like a Redfin a whole lot more. Whether or not the buyers really step in, I think they're on Redfin twice as much now as they were before. Now, can Redfin capitalize on that? Look, I don't know the business model enough to know, but I would not be thinking short there. In terms of IWM, look, let me take some of these NFP levels off just to clean up these charts a little bit. Let me take these weekly, monthlies off. Again, just clean it up. And we'll just keep a couple basic simple moving averages. So number one, we're above all major moving averages. Number two, my voice just cracked. You hear that? Oh, that's kind of funny. Funny, not funny. We are in this area here. So we finally broke out of this consolidation low. We're coming up into the highs. This is, see this peak right here? This is the point of control for really like this entire area here. This point of control essentially comes across where we're sitting on right now. So do I expect like, is it healthy? You tell me. If IWM were to come back up into this range here, trade in this box for just a little bit before it decides to take off, I mean, I think that that's probably a healthy thing. Call me crazy. Oh, there's the entity. Sorry. Oh God, still gone. Call me crazy. But right here where we are on that spot, that is the point of control for this entire area of consolidation, which by the way, this is like 2021. Like, look, that's good. And bouncing pretty strongly here. So to that end, does that mean that like I think this is like boom, hammer long? No, it actually doesn't. Do I think that it's gonna base around here for a while? Yes. Can it come down a little bit more? Yes. But is this a short? No, not to me. So there you have it, right? Like I think this area is probably gonna be more important right in here. So this is gonna be the 20-day and the 50-day is like 216. I was thinking maybe we got another dip down there. Probably not. But look, it spent a full year up in this range the last time. So far, and it's been here for a little bit. This is 3 months, little over 3 months in this box. We're holding the box. That's generally a good sign. And the distance between the simple moving averages, we know we do look at that between the 200 and the 50, continuing to expand between the 20 and the 50, somewhat expanding. So this is all constructive. So I'm not short this guy. I'm long. I would be looking to be longer on pullbacks. Does this qualify? Yes, this qualifies as a pullback that is buyable to me. But is it like oh my God, I need to go reverse mortgage something and buy it? No. Does that make sense? So it's a nice little dip ad for sure. What's 4.3%? 35 cents per contract. Oh, cash security puts. Yeah. So like the low risk stuff, anything that's, so Mitch is mentioning, I like your name, Mitch. 25 delta is 25% probability. So when you look at contracts, if you don't know, so here's a little quick School of Gains option delta clip. When you look at the delta number, you can also look at that as an explanation of your probability. So if it's a 25 delta, that means there's a 25% probability of expiring at the money, which also means there's a 75% probability of expiring out of the money. So you have a 75% probability of selling that for 100% return. That's what that is. That pop in rates, didn't help. I think this is right on, right? I think that's right on, right? So like, as we look at things like the TNX, right? Like I said, look, the pop, I think rates went a little bit too low. Now I think they're going to run into some overhead resistance. Like they front ran this. This is the 10-year. They front ran that dip, like that was going to come in hot and heavy. So they front ran it probably by about double. So where does that put us? It literally puts us like right where we are. So I think that we, right in here, like around 4.25, something like that. I think this is where we stop. Sorry, this is not gonna. Look at this. This is very much like the dollar. Like I think that we stop right in here, somewhere around 4.25, or just about right here. So this is inverse TLT. Not that TLT is like 20 year. So I think that this TLT is bottoming out basically right here, and would start to kind of bounce back into the 98s ish. Look, like I said, not hundreds, 98s in due time. You don't want a YOLO TLT. That's ridiculous. But yeah, drunky shorty. Yeah. Here, look, we can do, not feeling too many trades. Yes. So I think that what we know is that the market is poised to make a move, but it's probably going to be very choppy. As we get into earnings season this week and next week, and I don't know, Mitch, if you sell premium, there's a quarterly situation. And if you don't know this, take a look at the volatility percentile of both SPY and QQQ over the next week and a half. And I guarantee you that over the next couple days, you'll see that IV percentile continue to climb to some heights that you haven't probably seen in a very long time. And then after the big week of earnings, it's going to fall off a cliff. So there is a situation that's building now for a QQQ iron condor. And if G-Knots was here, he would be all over this. He'd probably be drooling. That happens once every quarter during earnings season, where the volatility index percentile of the Qs are just way through the freaking roof. Not to mention we add on an election. Look, just saying, it's probably an opportunity that you won't see for a long time. So I think, if you're staying around 30 delta, that means that you have a 70% probability of winning. But I'm telling you now, with the volatility percentile where it is, I'm not even looking at it. I just know what happens. You're going to have an even bigger edge on some of that kind of stuff. But anyways, you do that like when you have a big red day. So if you see like a big nasty red day, boom, slap it on. That's the day to slap it on, not the chill day. But as weird as it sounds, like the day that you have a big move, one way or the other, if you slap it on that day, you're going to get paid. Because remember, markets either run or they rest. So if you get a quick run, it's going to be a big rest. So if you get a big run, I would expect a big rest. But anyways, that's where let's get into some of these. I know I did see someone ask about Upstart. So Edward, we could take a look at that. I got to let's get into some of these charts. I know Coin was on there. Oh, before I get to Upstart, I'm sorry, Edward. I said I was going to do Tesla. Do you guys know Tesla has gone where for the last few days? Nowhere. This is another example of stocks do a big run. They're going to do a big rest. I'm telling you now. I'm going to use this quick site. It's a free site, Market Chameleon, TSLA. And what we're going to do really quick is I'm going to take a look at the last 6 earnings and say, what has Tesla averaged? So I'll zoom in just a little bit. So here where it says implied straddles, this is what the market priced in the last 6 quarters. And then the price effect, this is where Tesla has what Tesla did, what the price that it actually moved. So technically it's been underpriced the last 6 times. Let's see if they got that right. So, but what we got to do is we need to see, what does Tesla actually move? So 12.3, I just add the moves up in total. I don't care about direction, plus or minus. So 65 divided by 6, about just under 11, 10.88% is what Tesla typically moves in any given quarter. So that puts us, if Tesla, and they report soon, moves 10.8% to the upside, let's call it 11, That brings us to 242, right back where we were. If it goes 10.8% to the downside, 10, I mean, that's going to be 193. So Tesla's not leaving this box right here. So now the question is, can we put a trade together? Tesla's not. So the odds are that Tesla does not leave this box between 240, give or take. So we have session gap. Let me take this line off here for a second, or I'll leave it there for a minute. So we have a session gap up here, 239s. That's for 1010, I believe. And then we have a fair value down here and a retest at 190, which technically we've retested already. So this is the box that I guarantee you Tesla's not leaving. So do not, number one, do not leave a trade on that's for something that's like 300. It's not happening. It's never happened. It will not happen. Sorry. And what is that? So 10%, 10.8%. Let's call it 11%. That is $23 is the actual typical move. Ooh. So right now, Tesla's implying $15 average move. It's actually implying less than it normally is. So, okay. So what do we do? So normally, you have a little bit of a session gap here, 213. I'm going to take this. So if this is the last low, the low before the last low is here. I'm going to wait patiently for 210. If we get 210 sometime this week or somewhere in here, and there's a session gap, what would I say? 212. And this is going to be 240. I think you can get like a 225 call if you see Tesla down here for a bounce, potentially here. And then looking, if you get a 225 call, it's got to be a couple $100, $300. Then you're looking up here, you're looking at probably like $700 net value for that. Depending on where we get to, what I will probably do, and what I'm in right now, by the way, that's for the day traders or like 48-hour traders. What I'm in right now is a 225 call calendar spread where for November, I've sold the November 15th $225 call, and I've purchased the December, wrong button, the December 225 call. That's currently trading for $560. But this trade now, high positions, will still pay me if Tesla goes up to, wow, imagine that, $260 or as low as 190. So I don't think Tesla's breaking 190. So I've sold, and I think this is still available, a November 15th $225 call, and behind it I've bought a December 20th $225 call. Net outlay today is going to be $560, and this legitimately pays you 2 for 1 as long as Tesla is trading between 255 and 193 between now and November. And then if November comes and that expires worthless, just below 225, I'm probably going to hold my December call. And that's going to end up being just free upside at that point. Cool. Now we'll get to Upstart. All right. So Upstart, this high and tight, there's some crazy flow the other day. I went with it. This is for like near dated ish 55 calls. You're basically looking at this kind of flag to break. Let's go through, and we're going to hold. We need to hold these levels. So I'm going to draw one line. Upstart here. You got a lot in here. Here. And this last like little double top. There. All right. So that's where we're in this box. So as long as Upstart is holding this higher low, 52 is really what I'd like to see, but I'll be somewhat patient. So you're holding here. I think this is your base. I think you can be looking to get long in this area, not below 49.60, 49.50. If that loses, then that's no good. Also, this I believe was a 50% pullback from this breakout here to that high. That same area is like a 50% fib retracement. At this point, what you're looking for is you're looking for these highs to break, which it's fighting with right now. It was over today in the pre, so you can zoom in just a little bit more. Give this a little bit of time. You're looking for that push through. So it's not ready to roll right now, but it's in there. So you're going to look for a break, push above, and hold, connecting this one. Essentially these highs. And then as long as it's below this, I think you expect this area here to be your general support, right? So all this, I still want to be long in this area. I think really this happens over 53. So daily close over 53 and change. You're probably off to the races. So a little spike above, pull back, hold 53. You're probably good to go. In the meantime, this is not a short. It's just like a wait and see. Why do I have drug here? I don't know why I have drug here. Fortinet. Not my favorite. Dude, I'm not a buyer of this stock, to be fair. So Fortinet is a firewall provider. That's what they are. They're not the best of breed in firewalls. They're a cheap alternative to Palo Alto, cheaper alternative to Palo Alto. That said, it does have its own merits as a chart. I think here, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you've broken through. This is like a 5+ year base. It probably deserves a little bit of love. So ahead of earnings, yeah. I mean, look, dude, I think you're already getting this push. It's not an investment for me, but this was that last high. I think technically ahead of earnings, this is November 7th. You're right in time. You're right on time. Right on time for a little bit extra, couple days potentially. So of that consolidation, let's just take this. Oops, wrong tool. Just for an extension. Nothing crazy. I would not expect anything crazy here. $90. That's decent. 90 buckaroos. It's not horrible. I'd wait, see if you can get a little bit more pullback. Fill this gap. Look somewhere on 82. Potentially. This is for like people that feel like they missed either a Z-scaler. Is it Fortinet's like I'm not a big fan on the tech, but regardless, that chart has merit. Z-scaler very poppy, or really Palo Alto. This thing's just going. That actually looks better, this Palo Alto. If this can hold, break, retest. We'll see. Any lower though, that's a short, near term short. All right. Did we miss some? Scan through. Okay, Marcus did want coin, and I told Marcus I was not going to do Wolf, but I will do coin. So Coinbase, I think is interesting. So Coinbase, it's over its 200-day simple moving average. We know that. That's right here at 202.90. I don't need some of these things. I don't typically use that. there. And this right here, 213. What was it? 213.45. That was the big area that we tried to contend with here. I don't know if you remember this day. This was a Wednesday, last week, Wednesday. That comes from this area right here and this general area of congestion right in here. To me, I think this goes generally. Can it pull back a little bit? Yeah, obviously. This is a crazy volatile, right? So, can it break 200? Yeah, dude. Okay, let's be real. It can. Do I think it's a short? I'm more interested in buying this long. That's what I'll tell you, right? I'm very much more interested in buying this long. If it's a short, it's short for like, I don't know, half a session maybe. And it happens really quickly. But I just think with this backdrop, all season coming, I don't see why people would want to be short. And anybody that's not long Coinbase is probably looking to get long Coinbase. That's just me. But anyways, a retest. Look, we already had a clean retest of that 200-day simple moving average at 201. This is going up. We're about to get your cross here between the 20 and 50. This is pretty bullish in general. So I'm not interested in a short. Do I think that this is like gone too far too fast? I think it can rest, but I don't want to abandon ship because I think it's got more gas in the tank to like 250s. But do I need to see that happen this week? I don't need to see that happen this week as much as I would like it to. 225, she stopped it's a pretty interesting level this morning that we got to. So 225 was one of the major targets. And this is similar IWM where now you're fighting in this area right here. So I think this begins to bang up against this 225 wall, if you will. And as long as we're locking, again, a series of higher highs and higher lows, which you guys tell me, is this a series of higher highs? Yeah, it is. So it's not really a short yet. And look, if it's going to be a short, you got to wait for that to trigger, right? So like you got to see a lower low first. And then if you lock a lower high that starts to fail in strength, okay, well then maybe, right? But right now I don't have that. Like I haven't even broken Friday's lows yet. All we're doing is just retesting this level. So over 207, I'm good. The question is for most people is like, is this optionable? Like it is optionable, but for options, you need Momo. There might not be no Momo. I don't know. So what's true is that around the 200-day simple moving average, things get very choppy. And it could easily quickly hit, see like 195, only to close at 225 that same day. So just don't be heavy here. I think most of the move has happened. Stocks run and then they tend to rest. So I think Coinbase is due for a little bit of a rest. I don't think it's a short. Anyways, that's where we are. Let me just scroll through this. What's my largest short-term play? I just went over. I'm building into this Ethereum. I think alt season cometh. I'm still long Con-L, some options, not many options, but mostly Con-L. And it's not as big as it was when I started, but it's still a good chunk. Another one that might be interesting, and I was looking at this MSTR. So like, if you guys noticed this, so MicroStrategy had been outperforming Bitcoin on this last consolidation before the actual run. And there was this crazy video about Michael Saylor going like, yo, short my stock. And he's like literally trying to create his own kind of gamma squeeze. I think that if future even somewhat resembles this recent past, as Bitcoin goes on a bit of a consolidation and builds another base and attempts to break through this 2021 all-time high at 69K, as it attempts to like hammer up against this, right? I don't expect this to like, I expect this, right? Like as it attempts to hammer and then maybe just one day breakthrough, which isn't going to be until like 72, 73 up over here. or base or create that chopping base over 69, right? That's what you'd really want to see. In this consolidation phase, I feel like MSTR might outperform like it did last time. And that's kind of what you're seeing right now. So like MSTR, MSTU is microstrat 2x leverage, probably also gonna work. I am long this, and I am long some MSTR options. And a lot of this flow on MSTR was targeting this 250. But again, as Bitcoin consolidates, for whatever reason, MSTR MicroStrategy is a Ponzi, has been outperforming Bitcoin, the underlying asset, just so you know. So those, I think, are still available. Tesla priced in for a Trump run. Tesla, I feel like Tesla, look, man. Oh, look at NVIDIA all-time high still. By the way, we are long NVIDIA options. I think that one's got the memo. Like I said, I think Tesla is not going to break out. I don't think that there's anything that Tesla can say that's going to move this stock post earnings. So if you do get a Tesla rip into whatever earnings, I think you sell that. And I think you look to buy this closer to 210s. Or if you see it 210s ahead of earnings, I think you buy that dip, but then you sell it close to 230s. Because at the end of the day, I'm just telling you, this stock is not going anywhere. The literal trade I have on right now, I am short November $225 calls, but I'm also long December $225 calls. I expect those November calls to expire worthless. I want to collect all of that money, and then I want to be left with the December 225 calls. Look, the November 225 calls, I am still collecting $1,000 per contract. That's 330. That's 235, right? That's my break even. I expect that to expire worthless, and then I expect to be left with that December 225 call option, which, in whatever situation, to Slim Future's question, probably not. I don't think it is. Then I'm long Tesla into Santa rally of Q1 of next year. So that's my play. And I think that's the way to play it. So just me. I got 280 call for December on Tesla. Yeah. So I think you're going to lose, Edward. If that makes sense. I think that's aggressive, but you might get, like, if you intend to hold it all the way through, if you tend to hold that through earnings, I think that the ramp of Tesla will begin after earnings. So you're probably going to get a better entry point post earnings. I don't even know what that option is going for right now. December 280, $300. Yeah, I think that this doesn't really go anywhere. Post earnings, that gets crushed, and then it actually recovers, probably to the point of your cost basis, anyways, into the back half of the year. So it's probably a choppy road, which I don't look. What can Tesla say? They're not going to say that the Cybercab's ready to roll. There's not a lot they can really realistically say. That's just me. I hope I'm wrong, because I'm long Tesla equity, but I don't think it hits 300. And if you get so here's the thing about options: if you get a rally into the earnings event from here up into those 230s, it's very possible for Tesla to move $10 in a day. Don't get me wrong. I know it is. You know it is. I think that's an opportunity to take some profit. So, shoot me, Mitch. Love the idea. Always got to keep your contracts in check with spreads. Yeah. So again, this is why I use a calendar spread. So because I own the December contract, that is my collateral for selling the November contract. There's no margin requirement here for me by doing a calendar spread. Guys, it is time to roll. I know there's a ton. Nvidia going up again, higher highs and higher lows all through earnings. Stay long, be long. How do I get those levels? Oh, you know what? I'll see you in the server, big dog. You guys are there. But yeah, I think this one. So I specifically have not mentioned any crypto miner stocks, any miners. So I'm also specifically, so this is regarding Mara. I'm also specifically talking about altcoins. So does Mara mine altcoins? No, right? I am talking about Bitcoin going where? Sideways to slightly higher. But that's no Momo. Sideways to slightly higher as it attempts to continue to like pound up against that 69K. Again, what are you looking for Bitcoin? You're looking for a big consolidation above 69K. And then potentially like a little false break. You're going to look, you're going to hate me for this. You're going to look for a Bart Simpson over that may push and then dip and then kapow. That's what's going to happen, guys. Just so you know, that's literally what's going to happen. It's going to look like it's going. It's going to fake you all out. Then it's going to wick down one more time for a liquidity grab. And then boom, you're going to be stopped out and it's going to blast off without you. So don't sell your Bitcoin. That's it. All right, guys, that's it for me. But it's specifically not these Bitcoin miners, right? I just like, it's cool. Like, I think technically they can go. I'm not in love with any of them. But technically they're grinding higher. I think this is all in anticipation of, if you want to be long, that's cool. I think just be long some stock. The Momo has left the station. Does it pop? It's a gamble. That's it. I wouldn't put real money in there. But anyways, all right, guys, I love you all. We're overtime. I do this every week. I try to be quick and I take so long, but that's, you know what? It's because I love you so much. So that's it. I'll see you on the next one. Adios.